All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So this is the LG Velvet. I'm shooting in full vision mode, which is basically a option that you have to stretch the view across more. And I like this mode here for recording. I've been testing out these cameras, and I decided to go ahead and just put this video together now so you can kind of check it out and see what it's like. So I'm shooting indoors in this setting, and I don't shoot outside very much anymore. Because of everything that's going on. I try to be careful with that. So I'll definitely take this phone outside and get some footage for you. But for now, here is the rear camera indoors in my normal setting that I would normally shoot at when I'm shooting down here. And one thing I want to point out before I switch over to the front camera is that the photos from this device are absolutely great. Some people will harp on the processor because the only difference between this phone and the V60, in my opinion, is just the 865 and the 765. Other than that, folks, these phones are identical in performance. I don't see much difference at all. In the photo quality, it's really good. I think it's pretty much the same, but your eyes will adjust to how you see the footage, and that's just how it is. But let's switch over to the front, and so I can show you the front camera. This is the rear. I really like this look from the rear so far. At least it looks, from all the videos that I've shot so far that you haven't seen, the samples are fantastic. So, but I wanted to go ahead and shoot the official video for this device. So let's get around to the front, and you'll see what it's working with. All right, guys, so here's the front camera. Now, one important factor to point out is, though, in the specs, when you read on paper about this phone, it doesn't show that it can shoot 4K on the front and the rear, and it, in fact, can shoot 4K on the front and the rear. It actually can do 1080p 60 on the front, too. This is 1080p on the front, and it shoots 4K on the front. It shoots 60 frames per second, 1080p on the front. All around, great set of cameras so far from what I can tell. I'm really impressed with photos on this phone. So I've bragged about them enough. Let's show you the photos.
Downtown, I got that heat, let's go.
What up, folks? It's your man Jay out here, and here's some footage on the front camera. Nice sunny day. Try to get some shaded area. Here's some footage here on the LG Velvet. These things are so uncomfortable. And if I could stretch this out enough, here's the rear camera. Rear camera right here on the Velvet 2 out here in this area. All right, guys, I just kind of pulled over and shooting a quick sample here in the car before I get out of here. Shot some video out there. Cameras on the the Velvet are actually really solid. They kind of remind me of the same type of footage you get on the V60. So bokeh voice and everything, it's really good. All right, guys, so there you have it. What do you think about LG's cameras on the LG Velvet? I think this phone, depending on how you feel about price, like right now, the international version, the unlocked version, it works in the US. Obviously, it's not the official US version, so some people are concerned about warranties and things like that. Personally, when I buy cell phones, I don't care about the only phones I really care about, honestly, for warranty purposes are Apple devices. They seem to be the most overpriced, and I always pretty much get Apple Care with those. But with phones like this, in a certain price range, when I look at repairs and what time I might waste, depending on if I want to buy an international version, most of the international phones are totally worth it. You can just grab another one and it doesn't cost a lot. So there is an international version of this one out already, well before the recording of this video. So just keep that in mind. But this version, this official US version with warranties, is something that people are concerned about. Nonetheless, I am totally impressed with these cameras. It's incredible the value that you get. Now, depending on how much it costs, how much you pay for it, you're going to determine how far along in the price you consider something to be valuable to you and whether it's worth it or not. And I definitely have to leave that up to you. But what I will tell you is when it comes to reviewing smartphones, excuse me, I'm not the best. And I don't claim to be the best. I just claim to, or I just put it out there to you. And I assure you that I'm giving you just whatever's coming out of the device. And this is just my honest opinion. And I try to stay humble with that. So LG, on the other hand, is bringing up, they got the Stylo 6, which is another device I will be reviewing hopefully soon. And I've had the V60 since launch. And so this Velvet is kind of that ground that it can reach the masses as long as it's marketed correctly and priced correctly. So this is something that always makes a phone fail in some people's eyes, is they think it's overpriced without having it because they're comparing it to other phones on the market before even having any of the devices. And I can understand some people do it like that, but I think the best way to do it is to get the devices and you can determine then if you think it's worth it or not. And that's a question that I get a lot. Some people will ask me, is this phone worth it? Well, the V60 right now is probably my phone of the year for 2020. Probably. I'm not sure yet, but it's at the top of the list right now, period. So the Velvet comes along, and obviously it offers the same functionality of the V60. It just doesn't have the same processor. And the cameras on here, you've got bokeh microphone, you got ASMR microphones, all on all these things you can get on the V60. And I think when it comes down to comparing the V60 to the Velvet, I like the Velvet's design better. The Velvet feels better. It looks better. Everything about the Velvet I like better than the V60 as far as hardware goes. And then when you get to software, well, it's the same software. So then how can I compare the cameras? Cameras are pretty much evenly matched in my opinion. All the functionality is the same. So what am I getting at? It's just going to probably boil down to price. Who has the better price? And everything else pretty much is subjective, but the price, if the phones are functioning the same, I don't know. I also like the case, the dual screen case on the Velvet better, this silver color. Silver is my color if you don't know. But I just really like this setup on the Velvet so much better than the V60. So for right now, people are asking already, do you recommend it over the V60? Do you I don't know yet. I haven't had the phone long enough. But what I'll tell you is that the Velvet, as I just explained, feels better, looks better, performs the same. It just comes down to price and what you're willing to pay. These are the cameras on the Velvet, and I hope you guys enjoyed this detailed or somewhat detailed look at the cameras, my same routine, right, of the Velvet. And you tell me what you think about it. It's your man Jay. See you in the next one. Take care.